Here I've recorded a game against an opponent, Kitheurn, in which I won the dice roll. As always, I'm playing Sliver Queen, and my opponent here is playing Omnath. I have recorded a lot of games where I win over long games, slow games, so I decided I'd record a few where I just crush the opponent right out the gates, mainly because typically I ignore those and don't put them on YouTube. I figure they're not as interesting. But I don't want to give the impression that this deck is a slow deck, because it's not a slow deck at all. Those games are the exception, not the rule. The typical game runs something like this and some of the others that I'll put up with quick kills. So here's the beginning of the game. Yes, I just orbed myself, and no, it didn't affect him that turn, but I put it down because I was able to use both lands, and I didn't want to end the turn without spending my mana and doing something with it. For whatever reason, he plays his Farhaven Elf instead of his Omnath, so now I get to tax. Pretty sure that's horrible, horrible play. So, Soul Ring Stone. I mean, the last thing you want is for somebody to land tax. Ever. Much less with the Winter Orb down to ensure that they're going to have drops. So I untapped this way because I thought maybe I'd vindicate this turn. And I'm out of basics. However, I drew that staff, so goodbye Omnath. I stacked my cards this way because I want to draw before I decide if I'm going to tax. On the off chance that the card I drew was a Brainstorm, I could have drawn the Brainstormed and with tax on the stack, and then taxed up the card I just brainstormed away. Anyway, well, down with his Mana Elf. Staff just does so many good things for this deck. And I impulse in search of a green. There it is. Better to take one than two, so I take that one instead of the pool, and down comes Sylvan. So I mean, look at how impossible this game is. While my opponent's not at 0, obviously this game's over. So I get to Sylvan Ancestral. The original Necropotence. And pay life, and then use my staff to kill his guy, flats to get a shuffle, and decide to do nothing else. Because I have Spell Crumple ready to go, and he just hit his 5 mana mark. So he plays Seedborn Muse, which is great because had I not left the counter spell up, I could not have vindicated Seedborn Muse without preventing the effect. It has to be countered or removed as an instant. So I'm glad I left the counter mana up. So I go ahead and just eat my Mind Stone at this point. I have plenty of mana. Untapping City because damage isn't important, but having options is. Beautiful thing about Staff and Sylvan is that they combine together, so you're able to draw 4, put 2 back. So down comes Kick Chalice, an Expedition map, a Strip Mine. We're going to Demonic Tutor for Crucible here. And my opponent's had enough. If you've seen my other quick game, it also ended on turn 7. But as you can look, if you look at the time is only 4 minutes for a kill for a control deck. And if you think about the course of this game, I was completely in control, almost coming out the gates. So again, an example of how this deck can win quickly. I'll probably end up throwing a few like early turn kills as well up there, but we'll see when we see. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and here is the deck list, and I'll see you next time.